stealing and copying. The continued pressure on the creators has been on the reason for the advent of intellectual property rights. One can easily garner the term property that has something that has been given ownership, but to what and to whom will it be discussed further in the course of this lecture? Each creator and artist wants not only due recognition of his or her work, but also wants to have a fair share of earnings from them. The human rights of creators and artists require equal protection like others. Since a creation or artistic expression in any form is in an individual toil, thus how much of it the individual wants to share or sell would be entirely his or her call. How the individual can do so is allotted by the rules and regulations that fall under the umbrella term of intellectual property rights. So what exactly are intellectual property rights? And what is their scope in the present and the future? It is something that needs to be understood in depth as it is gaining more and more relevance with each passing day. We can see that there is a plethora of devices on which we can go and write, and there are so many with the coming of the internet boom. Every individual is an so to say editor-in-chief. Every individual is a writer. You have blogs, you have Twitter and whatnot. So intellectual property refers to all creations of human mind. It includes artistic and literary work, inventions, symbols, names, and images used in businesses and designs. Legal protection and aid provided for such creators is called intellectual property rights. To help the creator have full monopoly over his intellectual property, these rights come into play. There are total 7 forms of intellectual property rights which protect different types of intellectual creations. The 7 IPRs that exist are patents for inventions, copyrights for artistic and literary work, trademark for symbols and words used in trade, industrial design protects the external appearance of the invention, semiconductor integrated circuit layout design, that is SICLD, gives protection to layout designs of integrated circuits. Geographical indications, GI, protect the repeated natural agriculture or manufactured products from specific geographical area, and plant variety protection and farmers' right, PVPFR, protect crop species of new and derived varieties and farmers' rights. The intellectual property rights are very important as they help in the progress and development of a society. If knowledge was freely made accessible to all, there would be a lot of loss and damage that an inventor would incur because of it. The environment has to be made conducive to stimulate, elevate, and help in the progression of creativity, which is supported by the IPRs. It is of great importance that intellectual property rights are basically non-fundamental human rights, as they help to safeguard the individual's creativity. It helps to ward off the people who are indulging in piracy and flouts the laws. It also helps to keep in check the money earned by the creative pursuit is from proper channels and no evasion of taxes takes place, leading to proper economic functioning in the society. IPR is the central point when it comes to global trade practices and certain means of livelihood across the world. The dismal 29th position out of 30 held by India when it comes to IPR, according to a report by the US Chamber of Commerce, shows the crisis that India is going through. The IPR policy framework is not in its rightful place in India. The lack of awareness of IPR in India is one of the causes that have led to the decline in intellectual creation. India is slowly waking up to the strong need for IPR. The growing economy and the spurt of startups is leading people to find more about IPR. One of the organizations that are globally working to help individuals and countries know more about IPR is WIPO, an acronym for World Intellectual Property Organization. The word intellectual property organization was formed in the year 1967 at Stockholm in the wake of pressing need to protect intellectual property. The organization later became an agency of UN in the year 1974. The main work of WIPO has been to keep a tab on the policies framed all over the globe for ensuring implementation and protection of IPR. The objective of WIPO is to strike a balance in creative fields across economic, social, and cultural sectors for sustainable growth. The WIPO keeps a vigil on both the developed and developing countries so that it can bridge the gap of disparity that exists between the two, and by implementing IPR, provide a strong foothold to individuals from diverse backgrounds in the emerging world. The way the intellectual property gets protected is through 7 rights under IPR mentioned earlier of patents, trademark, copyright, GI, industrial design, SICLD, and last but not the least, PVPFR. The way patents help to protect intellectual property is by protecting a novel technical invention. The inventor gets to have a monopoly over his invention. There are certain parameters the invention that has to be patented must meet. The invention must be novel, useful, non-obvious in its working. The patent protocols can reject an invention on the following points. If the invention is frivolous, the invention is against natural laws, invention that harms the health of humans, animals, plant life or environment, invention that are arrangement and rearrangement of known devices, sometimes that will hamper the security of the country or anything that is related to atomic energy. To get a patent is a long-drawn process, and the invention has to be authentic and unopposed by anyone during the process. The patent provides an impetus to invent more. The other right given to the creator is one of industrial design. The ornamental and aesthetic appearance of a product produced for the masses falls under this right. The design can be a 2-dimensional or a 3-dimensional one. Today's market focuses on catching the eye of the consumer, and for it, the packaging of the product is important. Highly skilled professionals spend hours in designing the look that is not only appealing to the eye, but is also consumer friendly when it comes to usage. The shape, surface, pattern, line, color, and ornamentation of products have come a long way from what it was in the past. The industrial design helps to safeguard the ingenuity in this case. Replication of product design has been reduced to a large extent because of this and upheld the originality of products. Industrial products like vehicles, mobiles, home appliances, handicraft, etc., are covered under this IPR and have helped to bring about a healthy competition in the expanding market. The industrial design rightly only ensures the protection of aesthetic value and does not give any protection under the technical ground, so that the creator has to be aware of what kind of protection he is seeking. Designs that are literary or artistic are protected by copyrights rather than the industrial design, thus maps, labels, cartoons, etc. are not protected under industrial design rights. The rights of industrial design vary according to countries. Some countries have a 10-year span and it can go up to 25 years in some countries. India grants industrial design right of 10 years and gives a further 5-year extension if applied for. The next in the series of IPRs is trademark. It has existed for a long time as people often leave a mark or signature on the creation for identification. Trademarks are generally unique signs or logos that show the ownership, be it of a person or company. Trademark helps in carving out a distinctive identity that ensures to the consumer the quality of the product is trustworthy. Trademark aids in building of reputation and leaving a mark in business arena. Apart from the regular trademark that comprise of name, slogan, symbol, phrase, letters, numerals, images, designs in various permutations and combinations, there are certain non-conventional trademarks such as smell or olfactory marks, audible sound or sound marks, colored marks, some taste, and three-dimensional shapes, which are specific cases, also get registered and protected by trademark IPR. Layout design of semiconductor integrated circuit is another IPR of great relevance. It is inconceivable to imagine today's world without technology. Electronic gadgets have seeped into the very being of our lives, like we have laptops, mobiles, etc., etc. All the gadgets are compact because of their integrated circuits. Microprocessor-based control is made up of integrated circuits or layout designs. The human mind is the creator of such advanced technology. The imitation of circuits and replication are a big obstacle for the Electronic Research Organization. To curb such practices, in 1989, the Treaty on the Intellectual Property of Integrated Circuit, IPIC, was held in Washington, D.C., which was open for WIPO members as well. It was agreed that a 10-year protection would be given to the layout design from the date of application and that a member country could grant protection up to 15 years. In India, the Ministry of Information and Technology passed Semiconductor Integrated Circuit Layout Design Act 2000 that was implemented to give protection to the electronic industries in compliance with TRIPS agreement. This act ensures that a 10-year protection is awarded to a distinctive original layout design. It is important to note that trade secrets are also an important aspect of IPRs. Any non-innovative knowledge or invention which cannot be patented but supports and boosts business becomes a trade secret. During the process of getting IPRs, creative information is kept as a trade secret. The right to keep trade secrets helps in manifesting financial gains and empowering businesses. The IPR of geographical indications is an important one as it is region-specific. This IPR helps to protect the handicrafts and region-specific produce. The region-specific products are protected by Geographical Indication of Goods Act 1999 and Geographical Indication of Goods Rules 2000 in India. In India, GI is given for 10 years, which can be renewed from time to time for further 10 more years. The most relevant IPR in relation to literature is that of copyrights. Copyrights protection protect expression of idea in the field of mass communication. The list of things protected by copyright include novels, poems, books, newspapers, journals, magazines, etc. Under literary and scientific work in musical work songs, instrumental music, bands, etc. in artistic work, paintings, drawings, sculpture, etc. in photographic work, portraits, fashion, event, photography, etc. In motion pictures, film, drama, newsreel, cartoons, broadcasting of programs, etc. In computer program software and related database, maps and technical drawing, etc. The list can go on and on as it is a huge one. Related rights to copyright include right of reproduction. The related rights are mostly beneficial to performing artists as they provide safeguard for recording and broadcasting of programs. On 20th May 2002, the WIPO Performance and Phonogram Treaty came into being that lists performer of an expression of folklore as a performer for purpose and indicated individual gains automatic rights of copyright by the virtue of creation of his work. To ensure authentication, one has to get registration done for copyright. Copyright is a proof that the existing work is genuine and true creation of the artist. In India, Copyright Act provides protection to computer software. According to this act, the distribution and replication of software is a criminal offense. The Indian Copyright Act gives a 60-year protection to literary, musical, dramatic, and artistic work after the death of its creator. 60-year copyright is given to film, photograph, and sound recording beginning from the next calendar year following the year in which it was released. Copyright also upholds the moral rights and bestows its responsibility to the creator. The infringement on copyright work is a criminal offense that has strong repercussions. The minimum punishment is 6 years imprisonment with a 50,000 rupees fine. The biggest challenge copyright is facing is that of plagiarism. Plagiarism, as we all know, is taking someone's work without permission and claiming it as one's own. Facts, which are known as common knowledge, are not covered by copyright. Copyright allows for fair and justifiable use of someone's work by paraphrasing the text, using quotation marks and correct reference or citation to give credit to its original creator. And as we all know, we often use this practice when we are supervising theses, PhD dissertations. IPR also protect traditional knowledge of local communities. Wisdom passed on from generation to generation about traditional scientific utilization of land, natural resources, and environment is covered by IPR. This is done to do away with the evil of biopiracy that is becoming rampant the world over. Under standard IPR, the traditional knowledge is covered, but it is protected by sui generis, which is a unique system of land or region. India also recognizes the importance of protecting traditional knowledge, and hence to protect farmers and traditional knowledge, it passed the 2001 Act of Protection of Plant Variety and Farmers' Rights, and that is the PPVFR Act, as I discussed before. This act recognizes the individual and community role played by the farmers. All this falls under PVPFR, Intellectual Property Rights. The Patent Amendments Act 2005 clearly states that a new use of known substance which already pre-existed as traditional knowledge or copying traditionally known components will not be credited as new inventions. It restricts the unlawful approbation of traditional knowledge and its application, which is available in public domain in India. The IPR status of India raises concern as even today the IPR filing activity is a meager 1.6%. The unawareness among the youth, academicians, researchers, industrialists, and traders is the main reason behind it. A strong IP portfolio helps to secure loans, improve market image, and land up with great deals and investment. The small and medium enterprises, that is MSME, will greatly benefit if IPRs get properly implemented. India has the talent and the skills to emerge as a world leader, but can it be only achieved if people are aware of IPRs? Lastly, the IPRs would help India to promote innovation and creativity to a very large extent, propagating an ethical and level field in business. Here, I think I have explained what intellectual property rights are and different kind of copyright laws available in India. And here I end my presentation. I thank Professor Sharma for inviting me here to speak on intellectual property rights. Thank you very much.
Yes, Priya. It was really a very innovative, energetic, great deliverance. As usually, you was always in the class and inspired. We all students were inspired and try to find out that where the Priya Raghav is. So today again, you proved that Priya Raghav is always on the chair, surrounded by the students, sharing a bits of the literature to all, sometimes happy with the John Keats, sometimes getting pleasure from the novels of the William Shakespeare. Right?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So again, I found that the same energy, the same spirit, there is no change in Priya Raghav.
Yes.
You know, yes, there is physical changes I can easily observe. Like you are putting some weight due to the thyroid issues. I lost my hairs also again. But the spirit of the deliverance and the way of the presentation is as usual what the things you have. Really, I'm very happy that I have invited you as to say something about this intellectual property right, and you prove that there is something. Okay, Priya. I have 5 questions after deliverance. May I have a permission to ask you one by one?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Actually, what is intellectualism?
Intellectualisms are definitely intellectualism. When we talk about intellectualism, I think it covers the idea, the very ideas that that are original after doing research on an area, on a topic. Views that a person forms after referring to so many texts, they can be called intellectual.
Okay.
Definitely, professors, academicians, and scientists, all these are intellectuals in their own right.
Okay. So when we are using to combine intellectualism with property, and then we are making it plus with right. So an intellectual person who is a scientist, who is a professor, who is a medical practitioner, according to you, they are the intellectualist. Am I right?
Yes. Professor, I just lost you. Professor Sharma? Professor Sharma, I just lost you.
Yes. Priya, I'm sorry. Sir? There was some call.
Yes.
Am I audible to you? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, you're audible.
So what I was asking, like according to your deliverance, what I was listening to you, and all student, the teacher was listening to you. Intellectual is a secondary name where we can consider a class, a community, or a group of people, those who are different in the society. Like if they are practitioners, they are psychiatric, they are professors, they are medical practitioners. So somewhere we can nominate them as intellectual. So these people have, all the intellectuals are known for their particular properties. Like if I am a professor, so I should know about my skills, my way of communication, my way of writing, and I have to choose that where the excess percentage of intellectualism is available. Like recently, I published my book. So, what do you think that how a intellectualism or an intellectualist can make or find out the identity of their properties in a right way?
So definitely, when all these intellectuals, let's say you as a professor, you have spent so much time researching on a topic, and then you have your own views on that particular topic. That has to be that is your property. That is your intellectual property, and nobody can just what did I say? Steal or what the term is pilferage. That knowledge. So it is very, very important that the knowledge generated by such intellectuals should be attributed to them. And definitely, when we hear about these copyright acts, we also have some amount of money which is going to the intellectuals who created that knowledge. For example, if a scientist creates something, after all, since it is his creation, and if it is for the benefit of the society. For example, we have COVID coming in, so we have so many scientists who were involved in the creation of the vaccine. Now, some amount, although that is a very less percentage, it is given to those intellectuals, those scientists who create such who create such knowledge for the benefit of the society.
Very good, nice. So, Priya, let me know that exactly intellectualism is only the property of highly educated person, or a person who has got the intermediate or got failed in the metric examination can also realize or you can identify their intellectualism? Is it only a property for the qualified or experienced people, or anybody can use this property rights?
Sir, if you're asking me, then you see, intellectuals definitely have an edge where intellectual property rights are concerned. But even a layman who gets an idea and he creates something new which is beneficial for the society, he also can go and file a patent. For example, a person might be a common farmer. Now, he might create something which is very unique and novel in the sphere of farming. So he can go for a patent, he can go and file for that patent, and that will be within the purview of his intellectual property rights. So it is, what should I say, in quotes, an idea can change your life.
Right. I got your point. I never forget that the coordination of Mandavi and Priya Raghav. 10 or 12 years before, it's a story. I think more than 10 years.
Yes.
So I was always searching that the Mandavi, I think the conference, whatever the group of the people, I forgot the name of that HOD lady. We have the particular conference we have decorated in 10 or 12 years before. Are you aware about it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I am trying to remind the old days. Acha, Priya, one more question. Fundamental rights, right to raise voice against extortion, voice for freedom, voice freedom to be for the liberty. So in all these freedoms and the rights, what do you think that where IPR presently existing?
Sir, IPR, intellectual property rights, when we talk about this is a very contentious question that you have asked me, because the right to freedom of expression itself is qualified. Right. Because once you are the right to freedom of, and this was a debate which was held a few years back also, that the right to freedom of expression cannot be unlimited. It has qualifiers where you cannot hurt the religious sentiments of other people, or you cannot create, for example, if I am a creator, if I am a scientist, I cannot say that okay, I'll create something which is going to destroy mankind, or it's going to destroy something, and then say that no, I'm the original creator of this. So now, since freedom of expression itself is very contentious, still I believe that intellectual property rights are definitely very much a part of these expressions, if they are original, if they are for the benefit of the society. Like I said, even when I was delivering my talk, that it has to be for the benefit of the society. It cannot be unlimited. Absolutely. It has to be seen. It has to be put. It has to be put under some qualifiers, some kind of scrutiny before finally you can relate it to intellectual property rights.
Very good. As per expectation. Again, okay. One more question. You will ask that. I am asking one by one question. The students are waiting for us
to ask questions.
Priya, let me know that, for example, what the right way to motivate people to aware about this IPR. For example, 2 days before, I was with a shoemaker, cobbler. He invited me to present my shoes, as that he is in a specialization to fill the surface of my shoes with cream, then the polish, and finally make it like brilliant. It was sprinkling with the shine. So he told that, sir, let me know, are you happy or not? So his question was making me some amazement. It's very quite tough to be shared that really the shoemaker or the cobbler is asking me and trying to find out the parent code and the state of their satisfaction. So what is the right way to motivate people to get the awareness of the IPR? Is it this cobbler is also anybody can, nobody, and if these kind of categories, those who are searching, they have their different separate kind of skills. I'm not asking the cobbler, maybe the farmer who is working hard with the crops and finally present that on the Now the quality and the breed of the wheat or the rice is different than the earlier. So what is the right way that this farmer, and which door he would like to knock to find out his own patent or his own right? So what is the right way to make these people much aware about for this intellectual property right? Because they are losing their impression. They don't know what to write and what is the wrong, but they are working hard, like cobbler and the farmer. Now the issue is that how we can make or invite these people to understand the basics of IPR and what is the right techniques. Like awareness, anybody can, like we are sharing, but and like a layman, for the farmer, for the cobbler, for the fisherman, or for any technical people, those who are doing some embroidery, some painting, some decoration, pot maker, peach maker, a lot of people are there. They have their different ideology, they have their different particular setups, but they don't know what the right way to get the patent, what the right way to go, the right the measurement and the authorities. So what the right 5 or 4 important techniques to make these people to knock the door, where they have to go, what the right option, where is the right office, and personally as being a professor, how you will motivate these people.
Sir, this is indeed one of the challenging aspects that Indians are facing today. Like I said in the talk that I delivered, that only 1.6%, which is a dismal figure, and out of the 30 countries which are involved in this, India is ranking 29th. So it is indeed a very dismal figure, and there are many challenges which we have to face, because primarily when you spoke about agricultural people coming from agricultural backgrounds, or people who are not that aware or academically inclined, how do you make them aware of these things? So the first thing is that we need to educate our students. We need to we need to talk about these intellectual property rights. It's something that you discover after you do your graduation or your post-graduation. So I think this type of at least the very basics of IPR and what can be done with it should be a part of the school curriculum. And of course, when we're talking about IPR, we can have people who go to these farmers, and we go in these, like we can involve NGOs and other such organizations which are dealing on a day-to-day basis with farmers or with the marginalized sections of the society, and create this kind of awareness. But there has to be some kind of a body, which, whether it is an NGO, whether it is a government, whether it is in the government sector, or whether it is in the private sector, somebody who is involved with it, who can convey all this. And supposing an NGO is involved with this, and they find out that they're working with farmers, and they find out that someone has created something unique, and so they themselves at the very grassroots level can assist them in filing for patents.
Okay, nice. Okay, now I am sharing. We have the few participants, those who are asking some questions with Priya. Priya has a specialization, especially, and for the literature, she is a woman of literature, as well as so much fun to be teach poetry and things. But if anybody have any question, they can ask. So Priya, I'm sure they are all students and the teachers. Now they will ask.
Anybody? Anybody have any question? I think, ma'am, you have presented very well. So nobody have any question.
And I thank IIMT for inviting me here to speak on intellectual property rights. I once again thank Professor K.T. Sharma and Dr. Atikur Rahman. I can see his name on my laptop. So I'll be signing off now. Thank you very much. Thank you,
ma'am. Well, thank you, ma'am, for this informative session. Everyone can leave now.